Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Benjamin. Welcome to another Let's Pixel tutorial. And I'm going to show you today how you can animate a basic explosion. There's a lot of different ways to do effects like explosions in games. Often people will just use multiple particles and objects, but I'm going to show you how you could animate one. And first, let me show you. This is an example of what the explosion may look like when we're done. This is just a quick one that I did for my Super Rogue Cat project that I'd been working on. And this is going to be similar to what it's going to look like when we're done. So create a new sprite, and we're going to call this sprite. I'm just going to call it EX because I already have another one called Explosion. I'm going to make this 64 by 64, so we got plenty of room. We're going to come in here and I'm going to show you. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to grab a red color and I'm going to lower the opacity just a tad, and I'm going to grab this slightly larger one so I can color faster, and I'm going to draw a dot in the middle of the screen like this. Okay? Then we're going to copy this, paste it, and then we're going to draw that dot, and it's going to be a little bit bigger. And it's just going to kind of look like something, I don't know, like that. Okay? And then I'm going to draw that and do it even bigger. And try and keep some of the same shape. So what I like to do is I like to come to the places where it kind of indents like this. And I like to draw out from there like this. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to add a few more like explosions to it. Now at this point, I'm going to start adding what you would call like particles, like stuff coming out of the explosion. So I'm going to come out like this and draw like a few little just lines coming out of the explosion. This is debris flying out that's leaving a trail of smoke behind, you know, and whatever. And you should know that this is kind of for a top view game. I guess it could be used for a platformer too, maybe. So, okay, we're gonna copy this one and we're gonna go back to the image before right here. And I'm actually gonna erase some of this here. So go to replace over here. And I'm gonna get rid of some of this just a little bit. And why am I doing that? Because, well, in the animation, the bigger I guess the bigger sections are going to come on a little slower. It's just going to look better in our animation. And I might actually do one in between these two frames as well, just because it comes on a little bit fast. So let's do one in between. There we go. And that's looking pretty good so far. You can see it over here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy this. We're gonna make this grow a little bit more. I'm just adding like a tiny bit to the edges of this, you know. And we're gonna pull. I'm gonna switch back to the smaller one. We're gonna pull our little dirt particle things out further. Okay. And they can actually start to, you can start to thin them on this end. So they'll start to get this, the smoke trail is going to get thinner, but the top part is going to be still a little bit thicker. Like this. Then what I'm going to do is imagine that each of these kind of circle areas is a sphere, kind of a cloud thing, and that the explosion is going to start to disappear from the middle. So we're going to erase sections from the middle of each of these. So like this and this. Kind of like this. So you're gonna just put some holes in the middle. That might be too many. I might actually get rid of a few of these. Or at least make them smaller. And you probably want them to not all be exactly the same size. Let's get rid of this completely. It's looking pretty good. Okay. Then what we're going to do, we're going to copy and paste that again. And we're going to start erasing some of these here. Even more than before. Like this. And I'm going to add a little bit more onto the end of each one. If I can. Then we're going to erase more of the edges here. Like this. Start another one here now, like what I had before. Just erase a little bit more, make these holes a little bit bigger. And let's copy it. And now I'm going to start erasing big chunks. It's going to start to disappear quick here. And you can start erasing some of these edges too. Just a little. I'm going to erase almost all of these. Maybe leave just a little bit still on some of them. I'm going to add another hole here. Like this. And the explosion is going to start to disappear at this point. Okay? And we're going to go in and do that again. Get rid of that completely. Erase most of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Kind of erase these even more. And you start to leave kind of a skeleton like this. And it looks good to have these little skeleton pieces kind of remaining there a little bit. Like that, you know. And you just get kind of this, I don't know, like this shell looking thing of what it was before. And then from there, we're just gonna, you start getting rid of stuff at this point. Because it's almost the last, this is gonna be basically our last frame. So we don't want much to be left of this explosion. That looks pretty good. There you go. Now you've got a basic explosion. Let me do this so you can kind of see it animating there. I'll try zooming in and cycling through it real quick. So this is what the explosion looks like zoomed in. See if I can do it a little faster. There we go. I'll just hold it down. That's kind of the animation for the explosion. Wow, it gets progressively faster. That's crazy. Now what you can do is, this is just a basic red and there's not much else to it. So if you want to add a little bit more, let's come in and let's get an orange color now. Kind of a brighter orange, I guess. Probably what I'm going to do. And I'm going to add, oops, I want it to be able to add. And I'm going to add to the center of this. So, and I'm using 1 and 2 to cycle between my frames here so I can kind of do this faster. Here pretty soon I'm going to want to start getting the slightly larger one. And we're going to do that. Kind of come around like this. You might make the very ends of these orange, I don't know. Okay, this is where it gets kind of tricky because you want this to be very much almost in the same spot. So I'm kind of switching between the two so they can be in very similar spots. Okay, so we've got these orange colors. You know what? We need to get rid, I'm going to go back. Oops, not that one. This center one. I can't have it in the center like that. This, you could probably make these quite a bit larger. Oops, that was a little too large maybe. Okay, then what you're going to do is I'm just going to get this small line and I'm going to draw around the outside of these like this. Okay, we're just going to use the fill to fill those in. Make sure and add my orange to these. So then we can do an outline on these as well. The orange might be kind of dying down a little bit, just a tad. So this outline doesn't need to be quite as good as the other one was. I might change this color too. I'm not sure I like this orange. Looks lame. Looks like a peach color, not an orange, but you don't have to worry about that right at this second. And then here, I'm probably just going to be drawing orange into this. Maybe with the 2. No, that's way too big. Go back to the 1. So I'm going to be drawing orange around the edges of these. Maybe not even adding it to all of it. Just like this. And then these last 2, I might add a little bit of orange in some places, like this. But it's almost going to be mostly, at this point, mostly red, I think. Like that. There you can see, it's a pretty good looking explosion so far. I really don't like that orange color. I'd probably make this. I actually don't like the red color either, honestly. I think the red color needs to be quite a bit brighter than it actually is. Kind of like this color maybe. Let's grab this so I can make sure and get. And then the orange color, I might actually almost do more of a yellow. Oh, actually, that's not a bad orange. It just needs to be brighter. So bring this up to where it's like really, really like that color. Oops, that was the wrong one. And again, man, that hurts my eyes. It's like so bright. It needs to be lighter. I made it too dark. Yeah, this is a better. Then, that's not looking too bad. I'm gonna make that red color more orange. There we go. And remember, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do explosions. This is just how I would animate one for a game. The last thing I would probably do is take this orange and make it yellow. Brighten it up even a little bit more. Start to add some, like a bright yellow to it like this. But this color will die off quite a bit faster than the orange will. So let's make it larger. So here is where I'm going to start probably just drawing the outlines for this color. Like this, and maybe not even all of them. Like this. And here I'm going to be getting rid of quite a bit of it. Oops. Like that. Oh, dang it. Pen. No. D for draw. I'm trying to remember the hotkeys. Something like that. There you go. That's not too bad of an explosion for throwing it together in just a few minutes. But that's how I animate explosions when I'm actually animating them. That's kind of the process that I go through, and it doesn't look too bad. You can get much better looking explosions, in my opinion, if you start to use different objects and particles, and maybe I'll do a tutorial on that if you guys are really interested in that. Tell me in the comments if that's something you'd really like to see. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure and check out my Twitch channel that's in the description as well, because I'm going to be streaming the Ludum Dare this Saturday, and that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm really excited for it. But be sure and check that out. If this video helped you, make sure and like, favorite, and subscribe to my channel, and share it on Twitter. So I will talk to you guys later.